Hello, my name is Peter Milton and I'm the developer of TimeChainage. This video is part of a series where I show you some of the commonly used features of TimeChainage, and today we will look at layouts. Layouts allow us to view and print different aspects of the schedule and can greatly increase the visibility of the plan, baselines and as-built information. You'll be pleased to know that TimeChainage makes creating and viewing layouts very quick and simple. I have a project open which we can use to demonstrate what is meant by a layout. What we see in the chart, including the grids, labels, line formatting, text and filters, are all part of the layout, as is the title block and any schematic we may have. The toolbar gives us easy access to all of our saved layouts for the project via the Layouts selector box. The Layout selector box shows what layout is currently open, in this case main tunnel and shafts. We can also see the layout name in the status bar at the bottom of the display. The status bar also shows what filters, if any, are part of the layout. I can select another layout to view from the drop-down list. Let's choose Frogmore Tunnel. This shows a specific set of tasks related to a section of works. Let's quickly look at a few more. Main tunnel drive and secondary lining. This one shows the main tunnel including driving and secondary lining. All tunnels and shafts. This one shows the tunnel works along with shaft sinking and finishing. Whole of the works. This one shows the full scope of the project including system commissioning at the end. If we scroll down to a main tunnel segment manufacture, this one shows an as-built for the production of the precast tunnel segments. Let's open the layout current forecast. Now let's see how it will be printed. From the File menu, we select Print Preview. The title block, including version block, legend, logo and schematic, are all part of this specific layout. We will exit Print Preview by clicking on the Close button. Now we know what layouts are, I'll show you how to create a new one. Normally, it would make sense to start by opening an existing layout that needs the least amount of effort to create the new one. But for this demonstration, speed isn't important, so we will start from the layout that we happen to have open. For any new layout, we will want to show certain activities, formatted in a particular way and set with a specific date and chainage range. We might also want to include a baseline, actual progress, specific annotation, or even some graphics. To show specific activities, we will use a filter, and formatting is done largely from the chart setup dialog. For this new layout, we will also format the title block and add a schematic. We will start by adding a new layout and giving it a name. To add a new layout, we go to the View menu and select Layout. This opens the Layouts dialog. We click on the Add New Layout button. Here we give the layout a name, and we'll call this one Secondary Lining of Tunnels and Shafts. We can also decide if we want planned and actual task annotation to show, and whether we want to show chainage and date milestones. We will ensure all of these are checked. I'm not going to explain all of the possible options for a layout, as that would make this video far too long. We want to concentrate on the layouts function itself and the most common settings. We click the OK button. Here in the layout dialog, we can always go back and edit the basic details of any layout by clicking the Edit button. Next we click on the Open Layout button to open the layout. You can see that the new layout name is now selected, and it is also shown in the status bar. Let's start modifying the look of the layout. We will run a filter to select just the secondary lining works we want. To set a filter, we go to the Format menu and select Filters. There will be a separate video on filters, so if you are not sure how to use them, look out for that video. All you need to know for now though is that any filters you select will be saved with the layout. Activity code 1 includes construction stage categories, so we can see if we have a suitable filter already. We click on the filter box to see a drop-down list of the filters that have been created previously for this project, but there is nothing here that does exactly what we want. So we will create a new filter by clicking on the New button. We will call the filter Shaft and Tunnel Secondary Lining. We will click the Show None button and the Hide by Default button. Then in the table we will select Shaft Secondary Lining and Tunnel Secondary Lining. We then click OK. The filter name is shown in the selection box. We make sure the Apply Filter box is ticked, then press OK to exit the dialog. The chart now only shows secondary lining activities. Note the filter name is in the status bar. Next, I don't need the data date lines, so I will hide it. We go to the Annotation menu and select Data Date. Here we uncheck the Show the Data Date line, then click OK. Now we want to modify the time and distance range to better fit the data. We can try the Auto Range feature to get close. To do this, we check the Auto Range box in the toolbar. That looks good, but let's expand the view a little by using the Auto Margins. From the Format menu, we select Chart Setup. Here we open the Format tab, and in the Auto Range Margins section, we enter 200 meters for the chainage margins and 50 days for the date margins. Then we click OK. We now have a bit of space around our activities. The auto range feature is very useful if you suspect the schedule will change over time, as most do of course. You won't have to ever manually modify the ranges for this layout, as the ranges will change to suit the tasks automatically. In this layout, we want to show the type of secondary lining being used, whether it's reinforced concrete or sprayed concrete, for example. Activity code 2 can deal with that. I'll show you what has been set up for this code. From the Data menu, select Activity code 2. This code has different construction types related to the materials used. It has different categories for primary and secondary lining, and whether it is for shafts or tunnels. Also whether it is in situ reinforced concrete, precast units or sprayed concrete. We want to use the Activity code 2 line colours and styles in the layout. First, let's close this dialog. To use the Activity code 2 line colours and styles, we go to the Chart Setup dialog. From the Format menu, we select Chart Setup and we go to the Format tab. Here we select Activity code 2 for the line format. Note that any settings we select in this dialog will be saved with the layout. While we are here, we will add a chainage grid. We open the Grids tab, and in the Minor Chainage Grid section, we will put in a spacing of 1000 meters and check this show box. We'll click the OK button to return to the main form. You can see that the line colours have changed and we now have a chainage grid. The line colours are explained in the legend, which will be on any print or PDF we produce. We now need to set up the title box for this layout. From the Format menu, we select Headers. Just like the chart setup, all of the settings in this dialog are saved as part of the layout. This layout is showing as built work and will be for internal use only and will not be submitted to the client. We don't need a version box or a logo. So in the Version tab, we uncheck the Show Version box. In the Logo tab, we uncheck the Show Logo box. Now we go to the Titles box. We will leave the project name in line 1 as is. For line 2, we will enter secondary line in to tunnels and shafts. In line 3, we will add as-built program. We will keep the header options as is. In the Legend tab, we will make sure the Show Legend box is checked and only Show Filtered Items is checked. In the Position section, we will select Top of Chart. This is because there are not many legend entries in this layout and the chart will be wider as a result. Let's click the OK button. Now let's have a look at the print preview. From the File menu, we select Print Preview. I think this layout will look best at A3 size, so we go to the page setup and click on the Setup button. We select A3 from the size drop-down list and click OK, then OK again. The schematic across the top of the chart was created using the built-in drawing tool. We want to show it, but maybe reduce the height of it a little. We click on the Headers button and open the Schematic tab. Here we change the schematic height to 4 centimeters and click OK. Right, the layout is finished now, so we need to save it. Click the Close button to return to the main form. We save the layout by clicking the Save Layout button on the toolbar. We also need to save the project file, so we go to the File menu and press Save. We can now print or create a PDF of this layout. And just to show that it has been saved, we open another layout, say this one. Now we will reopen our new layout. We can of course open it from the toolbar drop-down list, but it can also be opened from the Layout dialog in the View menu. We open the View menu and select Layouts. Here we can select our new layout, secondary lining of tunnels and shafts. Then we click on the Open Layout button. Layouts are an important element of any planning software, and TimeChainage makes the adding and opening of layouts very quick and simple. I hope you agree and that you have found this video helpful. TimeChainage, adding an extra dimension to your schedules.